The rain was still trickling down as Olive and Shorttail made their way up the mountain. They had been forced to choose between two paths earlier, and eventually chose this one. Now, with her legs shaking and exhaustion pulling her down, Olive was unsure if they had picked the right path. As they rounded another steep hill, she halted in surprise. There was a waterfall pouring into a large pond with cliffs all around them. And this was it. They had gone the right way after all. She felt a new burst of energy surge through her body and trotted up to the overgrown rocks. She knew there was a path that would lead them to the shore on the other side. That had been where she had met Sprout. Aha! She found a small opening in the foliage. Clearly, it hadn't been used in a long, long time, and she felt her fur tingle at the thought of the ancient warriors using this path when they had lived in the forest. As she stepped a paw through the entrance, she immediately backed up. It was as if the cave itself was pushing her away. Shorttail managed to come up next to her, and she flinched at how tired he looked. The old Tom tilted his head, as he too tried to put a paw within the tunnel, clearly feeling the same push Olive had. Olive could feel the exhaustion of her own body crash over her like a wave. Had it all been for nothing? She didn't feel very good after the snake bite yesterday, and her leg was still throbbing. What had been the point of this whole journey if the ancient warriors didn't even want to see them? Do you think maybe... Shorttail mused, clearly deep in thought as he looked up at the overgrown cliffs. Well, I was wondering. The ancient warriors had told Frostbloom to come find them, right? Maybe we aren't the ones who were supposed to be here. Maybe they had meant for Frostbloom to specifically come here? The theory didn't make Olive feel much better in the moment. If that was true, it still felt like a waste to have come here. The two cats leaned up against each other, trying to get both warmth and strength. After a bit, Olive grew tired of being soaked by the rain, and stood up, her head feeling a little clearer after the break. She got a hint of excitement at the thought of them actually finding the place they'd been looking for, and turned to Shorttail. Come on, let's go home and tell Frostbloom. I'm sure the others are worried for us. Olive started down the path, but quickly noticed that Shorttail wasn't with her. Looking back, she saw the Tom sitting by the pond, wistfully gazing across the water. Shorttail? Olive could feel her mew shake a bit as she walked over to the Tom. She sat down next to him and felt her ears droop as she saw the slight wobble in his legs and glaze over his eyes. Shorttail? Slowly, the Tom turned to look at her. There was no fear in his eyes, and a smile crossed his lips. Even before he said anything, Olive could feel the tears welling up in her eyes. Shorttail, come on, let's go back home. She wasn't able to keep the desperation out of her voice, but Shorttail didn't seem to be in much of a rush, as he calmly looked out over the water once more. I'm not going home, Olive. I want to stay here and rest. Olive could hardly take it, and she could feel her voice starting to shake. Shorttail, please, I don't know how to make it home. I can't do this without you. Sunshine would be devastated if you didn't get home. I don't want to leave you. The two embraced each other, and eventually Shorttail laid down on his shaky legs, ready to rest his aching body. Olive sat there with him for a long time, until the Tom urged her to keep moving. With pain in her heart, she turned to leave, taking one last look at the kind Tom before walking down the hill, leaving him alone by the pond. Olive's steps were heavy as she walked down the long, winding path from the pond. She couldn't believe Shorttail was no longer journeying with her, but they had completed their mission of finding the pond where the ancient warriors reside. Now we just have to get Frostbloom there somehow, she thought, defeated. She perked her ears. Voices sounded up ahead, and they seemed to be quite loud too. Instinctively, she looked for a place to hide and brushed her fur through some ferns before lying down across a flat rock, her grey pelt melting into the environment. As the voices came closer, she realized one of them sounded somewhat familiar. And they apparently fight dogs the size of two-leg cars. I'm going to be the strongest wildcat the world has ever seen, one of them yowled, a very young Tom that Olive was sure she'd seen before. The other Tom, a bit older, looked at their friend with a doubt in their eyes. I don't think I've ever seen dogs that big. Not to mention, it's about serving the group, not getting glory stuck in your head, the grey Tom meowed, with a soft hit to the other's head. Yeah, right. I'm telling you, the cats I saw looked strong. You should have seen the she-cat. She was small, but she seemed stronger than my two legs. The young Tom meowed, and suddenly Olive realized where she had seen him before. It was Leo. He was barely more than a kitten, and had just moved in with his two legs when Olive and Shorttail had first run into him at the start of their journey. And the other Tom, a loner by the smell of it, must be one of Dandelion's friends. He and Leo seemed so close. Realizing the two Toms would be friendly, Olive stood up, lifting her tail in the air to look a bit bigger than she really was. The sun shined down onto her back and blinded the two Toms who looked up at her in surprise. Leo, what are you doing so far from your two-leg place? She asked, amusement rumbling in her voice. Leo narrowed his eyes before opening them wide in disbelief. Yes! Sea trout, I told you we'd find them, he yowled. The other Tom, Trout it seemed, stared up at her with wide eyes, as if he hadn't quite expected to run into a cat out here. Olive's tail drooped a bit at the mention of them, realizing she would have to explain where Shorttail had gone. She really didn't want to explain it to a stranger. It was difficult enough telling everyone when she returned to camp. Leo ran up to her rock, putting his paws up as high as he could, and stretched to his full length. Olive, Olive! We want to join the Wildcats! Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Sims 3 Warrior Cats challenge, where, oh my, Trout is a bit terrified, it looks like. Where we have finally found the area that the ancient warriors actually wanted us to find. So here it is, you guys. Here's this waterfall with, you know, an area out here, and also a little tunnel here that they couldn't, that Olive and Shorttail actually tried to go through, because Olive has been in here, so she knows there is a shore here. But they couldn't quite make it. It seems like the ancient warriors are kind of pushing them out. And Shorttail, of course, gave the idea that, well, maybe it's because Frostbloom is supposed to go in there. But on the way back, without Shorttail, unfortunately, Olive did actually find Leo and Trout, who kind of ran into her, and Leo seems to really want to join, and so does Trout. We actually rolled a significant event, and significant events can be quite damaging, like very damaging. There's only a 5% chance of it happening in each episode, so it's like 1 in 20 episodes on average. But we actually rolled one, and we rolled one with Moth as well. Somehow that's the only one we've actually rolled. After I roll the significant, I roll for what kind of event it is, and there are 10 different options, and both times we have somehow rolled to have cats be invited to us. And this time we actually rolled, you roll between 1 and 2 cats joining, and this time it's 2. Now I might actually re-roll that in the future, especially when we eventually do become a clan. You know, if I can't really fit it into the story, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I also don't want too many cats in the actual clan. I feel like 2 rows is probably about the limit of what the game can take. But that's behind the scenes, and you guys don't have to worry about that. But yes, we'll take well, I suppose we can take a closer look at them here. So, Leo, you guys have seen before. He actually has 2 different colored eyes. He has very dark eyes, one black and one brown. Well, one sort of grayish. But he actually, he's clearly a Bengal of some sort, surely, in terms of breeds. But of course we don't actually, I at least don't try to make actual breeds, just... So he's a little bit brighter than a traditional Bengal would be, at least from what the game actually made. And here we actually have another Tom with a funny little pattern. So this is Trout. He has sort of a yellowish belly and then a darker back. He's pretty cool. He has some pretty funny spots. And his name is Trout. He has a funny little face as well. He's very adorable. But yeah, they both decided that they wanted to join, and now that they've actually joined, let's see, get to know them a little bit better. So we have Leo, who is a playful, clueless, and friendly cat. His personality is a social butterfly, and he is easily distracted. He's scared of criticism, and his goal is to serve his leader. We don't have a leader, of course, right now, but we will, you know, soon have something that resembles one. So, and here we have Trout. So he is hyper, a hunter, and he's also independent. And I randomize all the personalities, by the way, so I haven't chosen these personalities. Usually I build the cat based off, like, I roll the personality first and then I build the cat to kind of match it a bit better. But he is actually dependable, but he's also a loner, so he doesn't talk very much to cats. He's scared of medicine cats, ironically, or, well, funnily enough, and he also wants to expand the territory. So he would probably be a great asset as like a warrior, but he doesn't talk a lot to anyone else, and he's scared of medicine cats. So a bit of a fun combo there. But yes, so here we do have the area where the ancient warriors actually wanted us. Also, what is this? That's interesting. This is like the Moonstone pretty much. That is so interesting. That's actually very cool. You could definitely have that as like being the Moonstone up through here. But our sort of moon area is this one here by this waterfall up in the mountains. So I think we are going to send these 3 cats home. Unfortunately, without Shorttail, which is going to be really, really hard for Olive to actually explain. And we do have now Moth, Wildheart, Leo, and Trout all not be actual wildcats. So I'm sure once Frostbloom has actually made it up to the... once she has made it up to here, I'm sure they will actually become... like actual wildcats, seeing, like, unless something happens, of course. And Storm is really tired. No, he's not tired. He's very hungry, is what he is. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll be more... Oh, he's so cute. He's such a little cutie. Oh, what heavy steps. But yeah, I'm sure there will be more... or they will become wildcats officially once we have heard what the ancient warriors have to say. And I am so excited to show you guys that whole plot point. That's going to be really, really fun to sort of explain to you guys and reveal as well. So let's see. Is everyone else doing okay? We should probably, you know, oh, skip, really? We should probably, I'll have you go talk to Frostbloom. But we should probably send out today's patrol, since now, of course, we are more focused on the actual cats who live here. So they're going to the deep woods today, but I think Skip at least needs to get rid of these fleas first. Honestly, he might actually want to stay with kids. Oh, and there he goes again. Sparrow seems to be... Oh, never mind. Wow, I was gonna say Sparrow seems to like really like Heather because I've seen him interact with her twice now. But it seems like he actually prefers Storm so far. That's interesting. Oh, and Heather is huge! What? I didn't even realize. Heather seems like she has a lot of fur to grow into. That is so adorable! Oh, I'm sure Sparrow is really enjoying being with his siblings. His half-siblings. Okay, let's see. Sunshine is eating. She wants to pound Skip. All the cats just want to play with the kittens. Moth. Oh yeah, Skip, you're supposed to be talking to Frostbloom, by the way. So we're gonna socialize there. And then we are going to use... Oh my gosh, we don't actually have a lot left. For, well, we don't have any left, really, for getting rid of fleas now. That's a bit scary. Okay. So, let's send out... Do we take Skip as well? Oh no, Wildheart, why? Okay, well, Sparrow is actually pretty tired. Maybe Wildheart? You know what? Moth is probably gonna lead this one. We're gonna take Moth, Skip, and Wildheart out. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So, Moth, you're actually gonna be the one leading this patrol. She's such a pretty cat. An absolutely huge cat, by the way. Oh, she's so pretty. But she's gonna take the cats out. Oh, and it looks like... Yeah, okay, actually... the traveling cats have just made it to where Leo used to live, which I believe is in here. So let's actually go over here with all these three. Oh my gosh! Did that hit anyone? You guys, hold on. I need to go back and actually see if that hit anyone. That's my bad for not looking. Hold on 2 seconds. Okay, there we go. No, it did not hit anyone. It was very, very close that Leo actually got hit, but from what I could see at least, he actually wasn't quite hit by it. Very close. Very, very close, but not quite. Let's have them scratch on the door. Actually, let's have Leo do that. Because these cats are very, very tired, and Leo did used to live here. Oh my gosh, there's a baby on the ground! What in the world? Okay. Oh, you guys don't have a lot of furniture, do you? Okay. I'm gonna say that possibly Leo... there's no food in here, actually. There's Dandelion. There's no food in here or anything. But I'm gonna say that, but Olive would probably not. She would probably sleep out here. And honestly, I think Trout might as well. Leo would probably want to say goodbye to his housefolk at the very least, considering he is thinking about living here now, especially Dandelion as well. Dandelion just kind of comes around. I think he might actually become a kitty pet because he kind of lives here pretty much. Yeah, he wants to sniff Dandelion. That's adorable. That's adorable. We are actually gonna fill Leo's hunger because I imagine that there would be food in here, obviously, since they have cats. It's just because they don't buy it themselves. There is none. But I'm gonna fill Leo's hunger because he probably would eat it. I mean, honestly, Trout might honestly eat it as well. But I don't think he wants to go into the nest. So, because of that, we'll just say he's not eating it. But let's have them actually take a break up here, because I think they need it. Oh yeah, and we had a patrol going. It looks like Moth is already well on her way of marking the territory here. Wildheart, were you with? I believe Wildheart was with, and Skip was with as well. Moth, you seem to have... You seem to have gotten here a bit earlier than the others, and I would say she has marked it now because she scratched on a rock. So let's catch that, and let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stalk for prey. Skip, where are you? Okay, well, he's scratching the markers anyways. So you do that, and then you 1, 2, 3, well, just as many as you can, really, because Skip is a pretty good hunter. Let's have you catch that, and let's then also have you hunt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Sunshine, how are you doing? Oh, she's interacting with Storm. That's adorable. It's quite interesting that she didn't get any... Oh, you know what? That's because... Yeah, okay. I see. It's because I actually technically cheated these two into the world. Just so that in the family tree, they would be like litter mates. Because otherwise... I would have had to, because I randomized it due to it only being 1 kitten, and I don't know if that's because of the amount of cats I have. I actually did have to make a new litter of kits, so that's why they don't have any attachment to them. So, but that's fine. They can just interact instead. I mean, it honestly, well, okay, we'll put you up at least a little bit with both of them. Just because I believe that's what the game does. Skip, they're also your kids. He had slightly more with Heather. And Sunshine, you actually had slightly more with Storm. There we go! Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. I cannot wait for them to potentially, you know, become apprentices in the future, if we get that far before they age up. That would be very fun. Oh, and Heather! Oh my gosh! Heather is guarding this pile. She is so sure of what she wants. Oh yeah, look at her! Oh, I really hope nothing happens to these kids. I really love them, and Turtle's death was absolutely terrible. Wildheart, you just caught another chip bag. That's not great. That's not great, but it is what it is. Also, Moth, I think this is my bad. You're hunting too close to all the rocks, so well, let's just do 2 more actually. Oh, and okay, well, I thought maybe the mushroom was finally ready for harvest. No, but the basil is, and we are getting, well, we're not getting that much closer to, we have lots of basil, actually. Interesting. She wants to play with Heather. Olive is pretty hungry. But they're actually starting to... They're not quite waking up yet. Well, Trout is, but I think maybe Olive will kind of be like, okay, we should get going now, you know. She probably wants to be home before, at the very least before nightfall. And for that, they should really start to get going. Okay. Let's have you two sniff each other. Skip has caught a red assassin bug. I think he also would care too much about Sprout to even consider keeping that. Not to mention, there's not really any reason for him to have it in the first place. Okay, Olive. Now then, I want you... Oh my gosh, Storm is out far. I want you to return home with the others. And Storm, what are you doing all the way out here? I'm gonna use the bathroom. That sounds like a great idea. And there's Heather. Oh, they're so cute. Heather really likes her dad. And Storm really likes his entire family, it looks like. Okay, Heather seems a bit more. She likes Frostbloom, she likes Sunshine. She's interacted a bit with Moth as well, which is adorable. But yeah, Heather seems a bit more outgoing than Storm does. Interesting. And Shorttail is no longer with us. She really wants to eat the food, which you're gonna, so don't even worry about that. Oh yeah, and she actually wanted to be best friends, or be friends, sorry, with Leo. And they are actually becoming friends, slowly but surely. I wonder if she kind of wants to take him under her paw and mentor him. Because I feel like she is kind of in the prime age of mentoring. And she would be an awesome mentor as well. And Leo is, well, Leo is very young. Very, very young. He's barely more than a kitten. And he was actually older before this. But I decided to age him down just so that we could get a bit more variety in the ages. Because the last, like, you know, 5 cats or so. Yeah, the last 5 cats would be very similar ages. So I aged Trout up quite a bit when I created him. Well, I decided that he would be like quite a bit older. He's about the same age as Sparrow, a little bit older. And what are those eyes right now, Trout? Oh my gosh. You have little googly eyes. And Leo I made a lot younger, just so that there would be some more variety. Okay, let's see. They're finally home! Yes! And is this Sunshine? Sunshine. Yeah, Sunshine, you and Olive are really good friends, so I think you would definitely come over here and be like, oh my gosh! You know, like, you made it! And Leo and Trout, you two can do whatever you want to do at this point. Sparrow, do you like Olive? No, he barely has any interaction with her at all. Let's see, Trout, you should probably eat something and then scratch on something. And Leo just wants to scratch. Oh, and I also have to, of course, roll for Olive if she's sick, and she actually is sick. Oh, that's interesting. Oh! Oh! Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty sick. Hold on. I need to see what she is sick with. Uh-huh. Okay. Yes. Okay, well then, I will return to you guys. Let's say next episode. Because wow. I'm gonna be back, you guys. And until then, I hope you have enjoyed. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.